Well, Trump has done it again. He is calling for journalists to be arrested, just coming out against freedom of the press. We will get to that unhinged Truth Social message in a second here. Before we do, the context is that the Supreme Court announced the investigation into who leaked the draft Dobbs decision was unsuccessful. They were not able to find the leaker. And I'll say up front, reasonable to be upset with and want to hold accountable the leaker. It's not necessarily a crime to leak out of the Supreme Court, but how they obtained the material that they leaked could have been, and even if not criminal, still accountability would be justified. But to go after the reporter and the publisher and the editor, as you're about to see Trump calling for here, is truly unhinged and very fascistic. Take a look at this from Truth Social. Arrest the reporter, publisher, editor. You'll get your answer fast. Stop playing games and wasting time. And that was him responding to a Washington Times article about this. Another message, the Supreme Court has just announced it is not able to find out, even with the help of our crack FBI, who the leaker was on the Roe v. Wade scandal. They'll never find out, and it's important that they do. So go to the reporter and ask him or her who it was. If not given the answer, put whoever in jail until the answer is given. You might add the publisher and the editor to the list. Just toss them in there. Stop playing games. This leaking cannot be allowed to happen. It won't take long before the name of this slime is revealed. And so it's been highlighted multiple times if you see individuals talking about this, and it's absolutely accurate to say that this is what authoritarians do. Lock up journalists in a situation like this. And while Trump says crazy stuff all the time, and I think it's easy to kind of let it be the status quo, let it be normal, it shouldn't be. This is not normal. This is a former president and a current presidential candidate who has a chance of once again becoming president and commands still, while we hope that it's diminishing, it seems it is, a very large portion of our country. And a lot of people are still Trump ride or die, and that is concerning. And what this also reveals is that the principle so many people said they subscribe to 100% of freedom, 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 and one of those important freedoms is freedom of the press, is just going out the window. It's being thrown in the garbage because of their support for Trump, or maybe they just never held that principle at all and it was just words. Not the first time Trump has said this. If you remember at a Texas rally, making a similar proclamation.
Made public. You know, in this country, they leak all over the place, even on the Supreme Court. By the way, you have to find the leaker of the Supreme Court. You have to find the leaker. You know how you find the leaker? They'll say, oh, this is treasonous, what I said. So they can't find the leaker. He leaked all about Roe v. Wade. Look, this person leaked from the Supreme Court, never happened. You know how you find? But they don't want to mention this because I think it's so terrible. You take the writer, because you're never going to find it. They're going through phone records. It's been a long time. You take the writer and or the publisher of the paper, a certain paper that you know, and you say, who is the leaker? National Security. And they say, we're not going to tell you. They say, it's okay, you're going to jail. And when this person realizes that he is going to be the bride of another prisoner very shortly, he will say, I'd very much like to tell you exactly who that leaker is. It was Bill Jones. I swear he's a leaker. And we got him. But they don't want to do that.
Indeed, we do not want to do that. So in the same statement, both calling for the arrest of a journalist and also making light of our horrible prison conditions. So that's it right there. That is authoritarian thinking, 100%. And it's dangerous. And it can't just become background noise. And yeah, that's Trump being Trump. So many people are totally on board with that, even though it goes against what they pretended to care about, which is freedoms like freedom of the press, which is so important. The White House weighed in on this, saying the freedom of the press is part of the bedrock of American democracy, calling for egregious abuses of power in order to suppress the constitutional rights of reporters is an insult to the rule of law and undermines fundamental American values and traditions. Instead, it's the responsibility of all leaders to protect First Amendment rights. These views are not who we are as a country, and they are what we stand against in the world. Absolutely agree with that there. Let me know what you think. Luke P. Beasley on Twitter.